And that was Pants on Fire, Liar Liar from Kix on the air live with Brian Forsythe, guitarist of Kix and Rhino Bucket. Now, for the first time I caught your show, I had always been a Kix fan since the band actually had came out with the first tape, of course, at the time. And but the first time I ever got to see Kix was up at Thunder Mountain Rock Fest. And I will never forget the energy that Kix brings to the stage. It was phenomenal. It blew me away. I can't believe that your singer's name is Tommy, correct? Steve. Where am I getting Tommy? Steve, that guy has more energy. I mean, does he down a case of 5-hour energy before he hits the stage?
Oh, he's always been like that.
I mean, he's got so much energy, and it just pulls you. I mean, along with the rest of the band, it just pulls you right in.
Yeah, I mean, he does a whole warm-up routine before he goes on stage. I mean, including exercising and all this stuff. I mean, he gets himself all wound up before he goes out there. But he's always been like that.
I mean, I give him kudos because that man does not slow down. I loved it. It was a great show. And it was really great to meet you guys afterwards. You guys were a great group of guys. I actually have a young fan here, and she has asked me if she can ask you a couple questions. Would that be okay with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
What got you into, playing the guitar?
Well, I guess it would be the Beatles, when I saw the Beatles. I mean, because I've been around a long time, so I got to see the Beatles the first time they were on the Ed Sullivan Show, and that pretty much set everything in motion. Once I saw that, it was like, oh, that's what I want to do.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't in the band Kix? And Rhino Bucket.
I'd be in some other band. This is pretty much all I know how to do, so.
Was it hard to be this famous?
Well, it took a lot of hard work to get here.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's just how that goes. I mean, I didn't have anything else in the way, really. My whole life has been focused on playing music, so,
mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all I do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, Brian, you've been around in the music industry for a long time. Can you tell me, I want to hear a really juicy groupie story.
Groupie?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be about you. It could be about you. It could, be way back in the day, coming up. But I always am intrigued by groupie stories. Like Motley Crue, they used to duct tape their groupies to the ceiling fan. Just weird things like that. It always intrigues me to be able to ask that question.
Oh. Wow, you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be you. You could, use somebody else that you know of that's got a story that you know of.
Wow, I always avoided those situations, but I was always more the troublemaker. I never dealt with the groupies, but, I'm trying to think.
Like the band Stonebreed I interviewed last week. One of his bandmates got a psycho stalker. They have to actually get people at the gates when they show up at concerts to stop her from even entering. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
So, I mean, what's that?
I did have somebody, this one girl, she changed her last name to Forsythe so she could say she was my sister and get in.
Legally changed it where she had an ID?
Yeah.
Did she look anything like could possibly be your sister?
No, but she told everyone she was.
Well, how did you come to find out? I mean, how long did she get away with this before you found out?
Oh, she told me.
She told you?
Yeah.
Did she tell you, well, I've been doing this for several, shows, or I did it this show?
I can't remember exactly, but I mean, I knew her because she would come around to shows and I'd see her around, and then I found out that she had changed her name to my name, and then the weird thing was she was telling people she was really my sister, and she really wasn't.
Well, do you think that would be better than her telling everyone she's your wife?
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever had any other issues like that with fans?
No, but I've had when I still lived back east in Hagerstown, Maryland, I had a couple of little Japanese girls show up at my doorstep from Japan. They tracked me down. I don't know how they found my address, but somehow they did.
So was it just the one, or did more than one girl?
It was two of them together, but they rang my doorbell, and I opened the door, and there's these two little Japanese girls standing there. It was like the weirdest thing.
What did they say? What did they want? Just to meet you, or?
Yeah, they just wanted to say hi.
So did you invite them in for a cup of coffee, or?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I brought them. I invited them in.
Well, that's nice of you.
They're really cool. I mean, they weren't like weird or anything. That's just the way they are over there. I mean, but they're still really polite about it.
Do you still happen to keep in contact with either of those girls?
No, I sort of lost track now. But I mean, I did keep in contact with them for a little bit after that.
So if I find your address and show up, I'm going to get invited in for coffee too?
Maybe.
Maybe? Oh, I'm not Chinese. Is that what it is? I'm not going to show up at your door, Brian. Kind of tell me, okay, I got to see Kix on stage, and I have not yet got to see Rhino Bucket. Can you tell me, what is the style in which the performance of Rhino Bucket may or may not differ from Kix?
Well, first of all, Kix has Steve out front.
Yeah.
So it's more like this show, and I mean, with Kix, we've been doing it for so long. Rhino Bucket's more, it's more just straight ahead. Our singer, he plays guitar, he plays rhythm guitar and sings. So he's sort of, he can't run around like Steve does. He's sort of stuck there by the mic stand. But, yeah, I don't know. I think Rhino Bucket is just more straight ahead, raw, just straight ahead rock, in your face kind of stuff.
And your singer's name is George of Rhino Bucket? So what you're saying is it still probably is exciting, just not as in your face.
No, it is in your face. It's not as much of a, maybe not as much of a show as, say, a Kix show. It's more just straight ahead music instead of the whole show thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's more stripped down.
Now, one of the favorite things up at the Rock Fest was Steve announcing, we're going to be back out in the parking lot after the show handing out condoms that on the tip of them say, blow my fuse. Now, is that... I thought that was fantastic. I didn't make it to the parking lot to grab one of those, but do you normally carry those I mean, is that like, I mean, do you have some in stock? Do you sell them? Do you just give them out at shows?
No, that's just something he made up on the spot.
Oh! Well, here I was going to ask you, I wanted some of those, because that would have been cool.
Yeah, I know. We should have those, huh?
You should. I think you would. I mean, I laughed. I thought that was absolutely fabulous, and I've never forgot about him yelling that out. I never got one, so I was going to ask you if you would send me some, but here it was just a fantasy. That's kind of heartbreaking, Brian.
Yeah, he's had different versions of that joke on stage. He has one where he says he looked like a little stick of dynamite.
So he's kind of is he the kind of like the blower of the band, or are you?
The what?
The blower of the band, that's the guy that's always doing the pranks, kind of the clown of the group.
Yeah, that would be Steve.
I can see that. You seem too laid back to give somebody too much of a hard time. Or am I?
Yeah, I'm more passive aggressive.
I can see that. I can agree with that. Now, you just came off of a 3-day Bahama cruise. Was that the Monsters of Rock cruise?
Yeah.
It was. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the cruise went?
Yeah. I played with both Kix and Rhino Bucket. Kix did the kickoff party the night before in Fort Lauderdale, and then we played on Sunday afternoon on the boat, and then Rhino Bucket played late Sunday night and then Monday afternoon. So it was I was busy. I was running from one thing to the next, and we had meet and greets and stuff in between too. And the first meet and greet, the Rhino Bucket meet and greet, was during Kix's sound check. So I had to do sound check and then run up there real quick before I got ready to do the show, and do the meet and greet for like 20 minutes and then run back down and get ready. So I didn't get to stay the whole time for the Rhino Bucket one. But then later that afternoon was the Kix one. And there were, I think they told us, they had several bands in this one room, and the line would come through, and they just go through all the different bands. And for the Kix meet and greet, there were a total of like 3,000 people we had to meet.
Wow.
It was crazy. I think the meet and greets wore me out more than playing.
And plus you had to do that twice.
Yeah. Well, the Rhino Bucket one, I cut it short. I didn't have to stay the whole time because I had to get ready. But I was racing from one place to another. I mean, literally running.
So how much weight did you lose?
I don't know.
It
totally wore me out. But I mean, I love playing. The playing part is no problem. I love to play.
Well, you're definitely good at it. I enjoy your style of guitar playing. Do you do any type of solo stuff at all? Just yourself, like even, like a straight musical type instrumental guitar?
Well, no, it's never really come up, but I mean, I have songs and stuff that I've written on my own that I have like recorded, but I've never released them or anything. And I do a lot of, like, being out here in L.A., I do a lot of studio work. I play on other people's stuff, and I do a lot of TV soundtrack stuff.
TV, like just regular TV for shows or commercials?
Yeah, or movies. And Rhino Bucket actually has, we do a lot of that. A lot of the sports channels have Rhino Bucket music in them.
Well, that's great exposure for somebody to, if they're that interested in your music, to sign you up for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
So do you have any more cruises coming up? Is Rhino Bucket or Kicks going to be on any type of future tours?
Well, I'm doing kick shows throughout the year, at least once or twice a month. And Kicks we already got booked on the next Monsters of Rock cruise for next year.
Congratulations.
Cool. I haven't heard about Rhino Bucket yet, but that actually, the Rhino Bucket thing this time for the cruise didn't happen until like a month before the cruise. Like they waited till the last minute to put us on there. I don't know why. And in fact, earlier today I had my schedule out. I'm trying to figure out, there's a couple of Rhino Bucket shows coming up, like right next to Kick shows, and I'm trying to figure out how to get from one to the other. That's always a slight problem, is scheduling.
Yeah, when you got two bands touring, and obviously must be quite a distance between the shows.
Yeah, the biggest dilemma right now is in April. I'm supposed to be in Sacramento with Rhino Bucket on the 13th and with Kicks in Connecticut on the 14th.
Hopefully you make a connecting flight.
Yeah. I know. It's like opposite ends of the Earth, or the United States.
That's crazy, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen real often. I mean, usually I can work it out, but occasionally there's a overlap.
Well, I suppose you have different managements for both. Both of your bands.
Yeah, different booking. If we had the same booking agent, that would make it a lot easier.
I bet it would. I don't know, about a month or so, me and you were discussing possibly having Kicks come up to Prairie Nights Casino. Hopefully they're listening to this. We want Kicks at Prairie Nights Casino. Really bad.
Well, I know that our booking agent, he books other bands in there, so I'm sure he's been working on getting Kicks in there too.
Well, that would be awesome, because I'd love to see you guys again, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we like doing the casinos too. They're fun.
Do you find that they're more fun than arenas?
Well, not more fun, but it's just it's different, and it's the cool thing about the casinos are you stay right there at the casino, and it's usually a nice room, and you just go, come down from the room to the venue. It's like you don't have to like travel in between a hotel and a venue. Right,
where everything's kind of everything you need's right there.
Yeah, food and everything. So it's kind of a cool situation.
So is there, let's see, I thought I had another question for you. Oh, I do. You can cook. And I know we've talked a few times, like, I was surprised, like you'll take pictures, and I think the one I liked the most was the mahi tuna salad. Does that sound right?
Oh, the ahi tuna, yeah.
Ahi? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it was. Well, there's a mahi, but this is a ahi tuna.
And what's the difference?
I think it's just a different color. I don't know.
So is that is cooking one of your passions? Because it looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't really know if I know what I'm doing, but I know what I like, so I know how to cook it the way I like it.
And has that always been like a passion of yours? Or is it just something you just like to do because we all eat?
Well, I do enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it. I grew up with two brothers and a sister, and I had to sort of learn how to do stuff on my own if I wanted to have it, like especially eating. I know my younger brother doesn't know how to cook, and he'd have to wait for someone to make him something. And I'd see him doing that, and I go, why don't you just make it yourself? And, so I learned how to do it. And also, nothing's more disappointing than ordering some food at a restaurant and it not being right,
Right.
So, I learned how to cook it exactly the way I like it, and that way I know what I'm getting.
So you don't necessarily follow a recipe, or you tweak a recipe?
Oh, it depends on what it is. Yeah, I don't normally follow recipes. I just sort of make it up as I go along. Unless it's baking. Because baking, you got to kind of follow it, or it won't work.
That's very true. Yes.
But I love to bake too. But I will tweak a recipe, or I'll find like 4 different versions of a recipe and then combine them to make one good one.
What's your favorite recipe or dish to make?
I mean, I love fish, so I love cooking fish, and I like the ahi tuna, but I also like salmon is my favorite fish. I love cooking salmon, and I can cook it perfectly. But I like doing it on a grill.
Yes. Have you ever tried fresh walleye?
Tried what?
Have you ever tried fresh walleye?
No.
I bet you $50 that if you had fresh walleye, that you would enjoy it more than salmon.
Huh, I have to check that out.
Yeah, but it's got to be fresh. Don't go to like the restaurant and order it that way. We gotta hook you up with somebody somewhere that fishes where you're at and make you some walleye. I like salmon myself as well, but walleye tops it for sure.
Wow, I've never had it.
Yeah, that's something you gotta have before you die. So, would you be willing to give me write up that ahi tuna salad and give me a Rockstar recipe and send it to me?
Sure.
That would be great, being I don't get my condoms. I figure I can get a recipe out of you. And if I could find a way to ship you frozen walleye, I will definitely... If I can find a way to do that, I will definitely have to get your address. I won't show up at your door, but the fish will. All right. I guess it's our time to close the show. I sure appreciate you being a guest on the show. I was really looking forward to talking to you. Really hope to catch either Kix or Rhino Bucket very soon. And even maybe Rhino Bucket could try and hook up with Prairie Nights Casino. Maybe then I can see Rhino Bucket too.
Oh, that would be great. Actually, Rhino Bucket has never done a casino, or hasn't yet.
Well, you still have that information I sent you, right? Maybe you should send that along to your team at Rhino Bucket as well. Maybe we'll get you up here twice. Get you some walleye.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, let's try and get something like that set up, and we will get your new songs playing on our radio station. And I guess it's time for us to close the show. So thanks again, Brian. I look up to you, admire you as an artist and as a person. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
All right. You have a great day.
You too.